if we don't have that general concept of thankfulness in life, then we're not thankful for basically anything, really.
No.
So relationships also are just taken for granted. We're not thankful to have a good wife or a good husband or good children. So it just becomes business, you know. There's no warmth there, because with real thankfulness comes a certain appreciation and warmth and care and expression of, you know, wow, thank you so much.
But the first thing is just very inspiring to me is to know why it is important to be thankful, because that's not always very clear. So in this quote, one of our teachers says that each and every single one of us must take our spiritual temperature. How thankful am I? If I don't experience thankfulness every day, then I cannot experience determination to take advantage of what I have received. Thankfulness comes with determination. So, those are some thoughts that I had, you know, just if we want to be determined, we need to be thankful. So this is us.
And if you want to be thankful, you got to see the value in what you've received.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not thankful for something that you don't see value in.
No.
So, you know, it kind of comes back to our view of, you know, what we received and how much we appreciate that.
Mm.
You know, how much is it valuable to me as a person? And it always comes back to the individual, doesn't it? It might be valuable to somebody else, but it might not be valuable to me. Or vice versa. It might be valuable to me and not valuable to somebody else.
Mm.
And so that's why, you know, if it's valuable to me, then I'm thankful for it. But if it's not valuable to me, it's just like, you know.
Yeah, but really everything, I mean, everything should be valuable to us, or everything is valuable to us, isn't it? In different ways. Then the question is if we see that or not. But I mean, really, everything's...
Well, that's the thing. Vision, I mean, how do we see it?
Yeah.
I mean, air is valuable to us on the number one level to keep the body alive, not the spirit soul, but the body. But how many people are thankful every day for the air they breathe? I mean, we don't even think about it. It's just taken for granted.
That's very true.
And when you go into a polluted city, like where I am now, our city, especially in winter, is very polluted. When you go up higher elevation, so on, then the air is good. So when you're in the city, you're not even aware of how bad it is till you go up to an elevation where it's clean air and look down, and then you go, wow, I'm thankful for the air up here. You know what I'm saying? It's perspective.
Yeah, yeah.
And so in spiritual life, many times people don't even see spiritual life, spiritual subject matter, spiritual information and gifts as valuable at all, because it's in their mind it has nothing to do with me. They're not interested in it.
Mm.
You know, whereas a person who sees truly, he sees this is the only thing of value, really.
Mm.
So that's why our spiritual masters try to make us more and more aware of the value of what they're giving us.
Yeah.
And giving us a process to increase our ability to perceive the value of it. You know, like, wow, this is so special.
Yeah, because if you don't feel that, then you won't apply it. I mean, it won't. Yeah, I see what you mean. It's like, yeah. You won't do it.
You know, the chanting of the mantras is so valuable, but most people, you know, they just, even if they hear it, you know, it's just some sound, some words, some song, some, you know, Eastern thing, or however they may vision it, or they could have a very negative view of it. And they wouldn't see it even as neutral. They just see it as negative. So thankfulness comes with a lot of vision from wherever the vision comes from. Anyway, that's just the point I'm pointing out.
Yeah, but is it helpful to be? I mean, does it translate into spiritual life if a person is just in general thankful in life and tries to cultivate his thankfulness for the other things in life? You know, the material things that you have. Is that a start? Is that a starting point to develop thankfulness?
Well, yeah, I mean, a thankful attitude is a starting point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then everything that we employ is starting point. And when you, of the good things, not just everything, but the good values, the good direction in life, the good, you know, results from engaging in certain activities, the value of a healthy diet, you know,
Yeah.
I mean,
That's also
whatever subject, you know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But you know, most people don't even know what a healthy diet is. So they don't see the value of, say, a vegetarian diet, because to them, that's a negative.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you don't eat meat? Like, what's wrong with you? Meat's healthy. But when you gain more knowledge and you understand how the human body works, and, you know, all the things that actually enhance health and the things that are, you know, against our healthy well-being, then you start seeing it differently. And you're thankful for the knowledge that gave you that vision. Let's say some person introduces you to a healthy diet, let's say.
Yeah.
And because of that meeting and that influence, then you become a little interested. Maybe you do some research. Maybe you become a vegetarian, let's say. And then you're more and more thankful because you see the improvement in health. You understand more, you know, not only in my personal physical health, but, the health for the animals, you know, and the environment, and et cetera, et cetera. And so your thankfulness increases for that original introduction.
Exactly.
Wow, I'm so thankful to this person to introduce me. And they may be gone from your life now, you know. I remember long ago, before I was looking at vegetarian, but not fully into it. I was, you know, pretty much so, but not, 100%. And then I went surfing with a guy in Baja, Mexico, and he was a vegetarian. And he was a friend of mine, and his brother happened to be one of the people I lived in a house with. And we met him in California and drove down. We were living in Hawaii, but we drove down to Baja, Mexico to go surfing. And as I say, he was a vegetarian. We went in his Volkswagen bus, and he was kind of like the tour guide. He was the director. And so he just took over. And so the whole time we were there, a week or 10 days, whatever it was,
You had vegetarian.
we all ate vegetarian food.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just, that's what he arranged, and that's what we ate. When I came back from that, I went, wow, I can do this. This is something I can do. I just did it for 10 days, so why not continue? So I would have to be thankful for him in that connection. And, not long after that, we weren't lifelong buddies or anything. I have no idea what happened to him. But that one, excursion changed a lot of things in my life. And so that's another source of, just being thankful for that trip, for his, taking over and just showing me a vegetarian diet is real, it works. So when we meet our spiritual masters and they introduce us to this truth, this absolute knowledge, we may not be so thankful in the very beginning, but later our gratitude grows. And I just go, wow, if I hadn't met my spiritual master, what would have happened to me? Where would I have gone in my life? And so your appreciation grows the more understanding and the more you see the value.
And
anyway, that's just a tangent.
Yeah, but it's interesting. I mean, the person asked me about food and how we do about food, and I said to you, one important thing, I mean, in regards to like seeing the source of what you have, and you're saying you're the person introduces to you, but the same with food. Like it's nice if you can, the food that you're eating, reflect on all the living entities that have been a part of you having this food. The carrot who's been living in the carrot body. The person who's been living in the carrot body. You took his body, you're eating it, but also, everyone who's transported it, and there's like a big process and a big chain here involved in you having the possibility of getting this energy. And by you showing thankfulness to that and appreciating that, it helps you to feel determined to like give something back or to do something useful with that, or because we've got this body, we can do different things with it. Like I'm putting the energy in here and I can use it for my energy for good or bad, right? I mean, but if I remember that source, it just made me think about that.
Right.
You said about the spiritual teachers, because
yeah. And our teachings actually, always remind us that we should be thankful.
Yeah.
That's incorporated in what we study and try to implement in our life every day. That's part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, good parents teach their children to be thankful for everything they have. We should be thankful. And, if they're, on a level of understanding, they say we should be thankful to God for this, And, again, I talk about like when I grew up. I mean, I don't know, maybe it's overkill, but we were taught to be thankful to God for the food that we ate.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Thank you, God, for this food. We sat down at the table and said a little blessing, they call it, a prayer.
Yeah.
To remind us that just didn't come from nowhere.
No, but exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
It's something that has been given to us, to make it so we can stay alive in this body, keep the body alive and so on.
Yeah.
So we said a little, thank you, God. We had our little prayers. God is great. God is good. Society that is, just in the mode of goodness at all, just let's say a decent society, it's kind of a theme within that society to be thankful. Thank you for the rain. The farmers, thank you for the rain.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so the crops don't die. Oh, thank you for, you know, this and that and whatever. Because the more close we are to the source and the whole show, then the more thankful we are.
It's true.
But it seems like society's gone away from that, gone in the other direction. You know,
Well, this
go to any restaurant, I don't care where, and observe as people sit down, order their food, and get their food, how many make any semblance of any kind of expression of thankfulness. They don't.
no.
You know, they don't. They just chow it down, you know. There we go. So that means if we don't have that general concept of thankfulness in life, then we're not thankful for basically anything, really.
No.
So relationships also are just taken for granted. We're not thankful to have a good wife or a good husband or good children, you know,
Exactly.
and so nobody's expressing any kind of thankfulness and gratitude. So it just becomes business, you know. There's no warmth there, because with real thankfulness comes a certain appreciation and warmth and care and expression of, you know, wow, thank you so much.
And
You know? But
it's
that's
like
gone. It goes away.
and it's like thankfulness, real thankfulness comes without expecting. Like you can either in a relationship expect or don't expect, but be thankful. So, you know,
Yeah,
you're thankful
yeah.
for whatever you're receiving, for whatever, you know, good things happen, but you don't expect it. But so you can choose that way, and it's just much better way to live for everyone involved.
Right. Yeah.
'Cause- but
So
that's
in some societies, it's just normal to express thanks. Thank you very much.
yeah.
You know, I mean, again, I was taught if anything good can, anybody gave you anything, anybody gave you any kind of special care, whatever, it doesn't matter. Thank you very much. That was just like, boom, thank you.
No.
And, or the parents would say, did you say thank you?
Mm.
You should say thank you.
Mm.
And so you learn that, you know, it's a part of the programming in a good way.
Yeah.
And so,
But yeah, in today's society, it's because really, and you know, I said that I had some texts to read, and in the continuation of this, one of the parts,
Mhm.
I'm taking different parts here, but it says that the foundation for experiencing thankfulness is two things. The first thing, and I don't know if it's in order, but the two things. Well, maybe I should, the two things. The first one is to see our own faults and experience that we're not better than anyone else. We don't expect and we don't demand respect from others. And the more unworthy we feel, the more thankful we feel for what we do receive. And he says, please remember this. The more unworthy I feel, the more thankful I feel for what I receive.
yeah, because you don't feel worthy of receiving anything, but as a kind of a gift that you don't deserve,
Exactly.
you get something,
Exactly.
and you're thankful for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can go around in society today and see, you know, it's kind of like this feeling, you know, prop up yourself, go get it, just, you know, you're worthy, you're like, it's your right to have this. But, you know, if with that attitude, then we lose the thankfulness, because if we feel that I'm worthy of getting all these things, well, obviously I won't be thankful because I'll take it for granted that I'm going to have all these things. And then
exactly. And you demand it. If you don't get it, you demand it.
Yeah.
So it's just arrogance. And the more exploitative consciousness we have, exploitative consciousness does not encompass thankfulness. It's like, you owe it to me. So therefore, why didn't you give it to me sooner? Or more of it, or, or why do I have to ask you for?
Well, kind of like in a relationship again. I mean, you can see that in a relationship, like you owe this to me. You are my wife. You should cook for me and you should do this. You just expect all these things instead of being thankful for whatever the other person does. You just see, this is your...
Exactly. Yeah. And that does not make for a good relationship.
No.
It just reminded me of a story that this lady told me about her sister. She has a sister married. They lived in New Jersey, I think it was. Very wealthy family. And her sister also was very wealthy as part of her relationship with her husband. I don't know, whatever. Money, anyway, money person. So what was it? They had I think it was maybe it was a marriage, and she married this wealthy guy. Whatever. She was wealthy already. I don't remember the detail. It doesn't matter. So whatever occasion it was an occasion where people gave her gifts. Mm-hmm. Maybe it was a Christmas thing. I don't remember what it was. Anyway, this lady I was talking to was there when she was opening the gifts. It was a kind of a personal thing, maybe a birthday. I don't know what it was. But anyway, she'd open this gift, and she'd look at who sent this, and she'd look at what they sent, and she'd say, what a cheapskate. That guy's got a lot of money, and this is all he sent me? And she was going through all the gifts, not thankful that of any of them, just criticizing, or it should have been different, it should have been more. This was so cheap when this guy's got so much money, et cetera, et cetera. And her whole gift open experience, receiving gifts, was on that level. Nothing, wow, that's great, thank you, And that's where it goes, you see. It's just a exploitative, never good enough mentality.
What's the taste in that? Like, why do we do that? Why do we choose to?
Well, it's a bitter taste in one sense, but it's a superiority taste in another. I'm looking down at whoever, and therefore there's
superiority. Yeah, I see.
I'm up and they're down.
Yeah. Okay.
Criticizing has a certain taste.
Yeah.
It's a perverted taste, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's a certain taste that's really relishable to people in a certain consciousness. Yeah. This arrogant consciousness. I'm higher and you're lower. In our master's Gems of Wisdom booklet is an article on the topic on humility, and that's what he's pointing out, is that the more I criticize others, the more it builds me up. The higher I go by putting other people down. And that's the game everybody's playing in the material consciousness, is climbing higher above everybody, looking down on others. So that's a weird taste, but it's certainly a taste of arrogance, pride, false pride.
The problem is, like someone told me, and I always think about that, the higher you go, the higher you have to fall. If you go very high, if you let the balloon float very high, then it's got a long way to fall.
Yeah, where if you're on the bottom, you can't fall.
No problem. And just, okay, that's a good thing that you said that, because now I remember the second part of Foundation for Experience Thankfulness is knowing that even you're on the bottom, you're of complete transcendental, wonderful value. You don't need to prop yourself up. And he says that the second foundation for experiencing thankfulness is despite my lack of intelligence, of sincerity, and still the Supreme is trying to give me guidance. The Supreme Lord is trying to give me guidance. Is trying to help me, and without me having to qualify for it or have any reason, I'm still getting guidance from the spiritual masters and from the Lord in my heart, and I'm getting help. So
Yeah.
I'm loved. I'm loved. That's the thing. And then you're like, wow, I though I'm not worthy, I have no qualifications. I'm still loved, and I'm taken care of. I'm being taken care of.
Yes. Thankful for the mercy.
Exactly.
And the love and the care.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we speak, which we often do really, about, going low and getting away from false prestige and false pride, feeling lower than the straw in the street. That's one of the instructions of Lord Gauranga.
Yeah.
And people in general, they can't even conceive that this is a good thing. Because we've all been led to believe from our, material influences that we're supposed to have high self-esteem.
Yeah.
And the idea of low self-esteem is the worst thing you can have. You must feel good about yourself. You must prop yourself up. You must, always think that no matter what, you're great. I am good. I am this. I am that. And so the idea of, feeling lower than the straw in the street, devoid of all sense of false prestige, is so opposed to that they have a hard time even entertaining that's a good thing. But like you just read, even though we're on the bottom, we still see this high self-image of ourselves, this high esteem. It's fake.
Yeah.
And it's material. And it doesn't last, and it's not real at all. See? So it's just fabricated. Whereas when you have low self-esteem, in the sense of, spiritual understanding, it's not low self-esteem, it's just understanding the truth. I am not the Lord. I am not great.
Yeah.
You see? I am the servant of the Great One. And therefore, on that level, it's putting us in understanding of our true eternal position. But on the other side of that coin is, but I'm eternally great because I'm a part and parcel of the Lord. I'm a child of God, and, there's nothing superior to that. Like the kid, his father's a big guy, some rich guy or president or whoever, and somebody's putting him down. He says, "You know who my daddy is?"
And kids,
so that's our position. You know who my daddy is.
Kids do that. My friend Lakshman, who lives with us in Tromsø, he's working on kindergartens, and then I was surprised he comes home with a lot of stories, really fun stories. But he said, one time he'd been at school and the kids had been, my dad is stronger than your dad, and the other kid was like, no, my dad, he can lift the whole house, or they were trying to
right.
They still right. That's actually they still do that.
So proud by association.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know. I'm connected to my dad who is, can lift the house or whatever. So the spirit soul doesn't feel he's great, but he's great because his father's great and he's connected and he's in a position to glorify and love and serve his eternal Father.
Who everyone is related to and who everyone is a child of, by the way. So it'll remind you when you see someone else, you will know, okay, but that person's also connected to the same Father. So he's just as wonderful.
So we're not trying to be materially great, but spiritually, we're eternally, thankful and fortunate, and, nothing could be better than that.
Yeah.
So the more I puff myself up materially, the further away I get from that real humility.
Yeah, another point is that I actually, why I'm kind of like paraphrasing is because I rewrote this into a kind of thankfulness meditation that one can, relax in, and so the parts are a little here and there, but basically, he says that we have a choice to make in life. We can either be meditative on the things, we can focus on the things that we don't have. We can meditate on how difficult our lives are, and we can, apply the spiritual process less, and we can just be angry, basically, and let the anger overcome us. Or we can meditate on the things that we do have and be thankful for that. It's really a simple thing. I mean, do you want to focus on the things that you don't have or what you do have?
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. That's right.
And if you focus on the things that you don't have, then you naturally, the things happen to you and you will be more and more angry. Like, you don't deserve this. I didn't deserve this. Because you feel, that's one way to go. And that's the path away from actual happiness and growth in spiritual life and all the things that we try to promote, thankfulness.
Yes. I mean, one of the things, obviously, we don't often recognize is we should be thankful we're in a human form of life.
Yeah, I was going to come to that. Exactly. Yeah.
That we're not in a lower species of life where we have no opportunity to experience, all these truths and be guided and so on. Mm. But the humans have this ability for a choice. That's one thing it says humans above other lower forms of life is we have the ability to choose. And yeah.
Because I'm not my body, so I'm, just
Right.
Wanted to make that clear to people. I'm not my body, and there are different bodies that a spirit soul, a person can be in. And where we go when we leave this body, we will keep existing. And where we go, that depends on what we do in this life, essentially. What consciousness we develop.
Right. So right now we have the human form, and its specific purpose is to make spiritual advancement, to use it for spiritual realization. And we should be thankful that I have the equipment this lifetime to do this. And so again, if we're taught this, if we're given this knowledge, then we can be thankful for the knowledge and thankful for the human form and thankful for the opportunities and, be determined, as you quoted in the very beginning.
Yeah. Because the thing is that some things we will have to leave behind when we leave this world. that's how it is at the time of so-called death. We will have to leave a lot of things behind. Some things all
material
material
things,
things, yeah.
including the body.
And exactly, but some things I will be able to keep, and that's the spiritual assets that I acquire. But the things that I do have to leave behind, we can still be thankful for them, because in relationship to how much they help us hold on to the things that we will be able to have when we leave the world. Did you follow that? I hope because that's what he explained in this, because I'm thankful for the things that I leave behind, because they help me hold on to the things I will be able to keep when I leave this world. For example, like you said, human form. I have ears, so I can hear, listen to the truth. I can hear the mantras. I will leave my ears behind, but I'm thankful for my ears, because they help me to hold on to the transcendental love in my heart that I'm growing and cultivating, and through the mantras. And, so that's...
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And the same, he says the same with the eyes. We have eyes we can see the Supreme Lord with. We have tongue, so we can speak the absolute truth, and we can, have the food that has been offered to him. We have a nose, so we can smell the flowers which have been offered to the Supreme Lord. We have hands and legs and intelligence, so we can serve him, so we can serve others, etc.
Yes.
Because all these things help me to hold on to the things I will be able to keep when I leave this world. But maybe you could elaborate on that. What does that mean? Like, what do I get to keep when I leave this world?
What's in our heart? If we've cultivated that relationship with the Lord, then we get to keep that. Death doesn't take that away. So that is why we need to cultivate the permanent and not focus on the temporary, Because, as we've been taught by our spiritual masters, that, there's going to come a time when all these things that we've maybe taken shelter in and held on to and, thought were going to help us at the time of death or protect us, we're going to realize that's not true. They're fallible soldiers. They're not able to help us. The friends, the family, the positions, the wealth, whatever, all that's going. And we'll realize that, And so what we've cultivated in our heart is what we can hang on to, because that's us. That's where we're going to go, according to that condition. And so, you're going to go inside. Well, what's inside? If it's just an empty tomb, so to speak, that's not going to help us, But if we're full inside with this spiritual, we'll just call it spiritual knowledge, gain, treasure, relationship with the Lord, etc. That's there. That's still with us, and there's where our shelter really is. And that's the safety. That's the solace. That's the peace. That's the real world. That's the real life. But if we haven't done that, then we're just empty. Because we've put our whole eggs in, that's a terrible statement. We put everything in the one basket, so to speak, of materialism, and we've got nothing. There's nothing in the spiritual tank. We're empty. there's nothing to fuel our journey. But the journey will continue. We'll just be put into another material body and, go through the whole story again.
And have another chance to appreciate what we have if we're fortunate enough to get a human form, and if not, then we'll have to wait a long time before we get a human form, and then a chance to be thankful again.
Yes, exactly. And there's no guarantee. So those who are listening, this might be it's kind of just, going round and round, because usually the thankfulness that people encourage us to have is on a material plane. Thankful for the good job, thankful for the good family, or thankful for the good health, or, the material opportunities that whatever, see. And we should be thankful for that, but that's not the real important thanks we should have. Just like you read, we should be thankful for the ears and the eyes and the nose and the tongue and the legs and the hands and so on, but from a spiritual angle. Not the eyes so we can see the beautiful world, but the eyes so we can see, all the forms of the Lord, or read the scriptures, or see how to help other people, or used as a tool in our service to God and our fellow man, and etc.
Yeah.
So it's just a different vision of life, really, starting with we're not the body.
Yeah.
That's where it all starts.
Yeah.
And from there, you can expand on that unlimitedly. So you got some more?
No, I think I'm out. That's a wonderful.
Yeah, but that is really important.
Yeah, that's why I'm at a gathering here, a retreat with many friends, and I just seeing all these wonderful people, and how the people that are also trying to implement these truths and spiritual life and cultivate their spiritual love and wisdom, and it's just shows me, and I get reminded about how fortunate I am, and it gives me thankfulness to.
Yeah.
And also to see the joy that it gives others, and then you feel so thankful that you're being able to help and able to share that to other people. That I have the wisdom to be able to. I can actually do something. That was for me. The start of my spiritual journey. I guess you could say in this life was environmental. Consciousness, like wanting to give back to Mother Nature for what she had given me, in terms of my mother always taking me to the mountains when I was younger, and always feeling like I got so much fulfillment from that, and so much of a recharge. And then, how can I in any way give back? How can I do something for her? And so I started studying environmental engineering, because I thought that was a good way, and then it just built on. But the start was this kind of the serving attitude was the start, and wanting to help. And I think that's built in all of us. We want to help. We want to serve.
Right. Yeah. There's a few things, let's say, that encourage this, and there's many things that discourage it, according to society that we live in. Like we said, your mom trained you, maybe directly, indirectly, by taking you to a place where you could see, wow, this is great. I'm thankful for this.
Yeah.
You know, but if you don't have that, but you don't get much help. And our nature, our materially contaminated nature, is not to be like that, but to be exploitative and demanding and so on. So parents have such a huge influence on their children. Huge.
Because they can promote, they can promote
one
either
way or
one.
another way.
Yeah, they can promote the true nature or the covered over material nature, the exploitative attitude, the I am Lord attitude, or the be thankful for whatever attitude.
Yeah. So, yeah. And really, thankfulness is a spiritual quality. And it comes with this, feeling, subservient to the Lord, and but in a good way, not in a bad way. People hear the word subservient or servant, and they put material connotations on it, and then it's a negative. So education is so important. I remembered in Los Angeles in the 80s, I used to go to these events and sell dried fruit and nuts.
Yeah, I remember.
That was my business.
Yeah.
Right? And so there was this one big event. It's called the Porsche Corvette show. And it was so large. It was outdoors in the Los Angeles County Fairgrounds parking lot. And vendors would come there. It was all about auto parts, selling parts for antique cars or older cars. If you wanted a grill for a 1956 Chevy, you go there and you'd look, and probably you'd find one. And it was just that kind of thing. It was really unique and some really special cars and everything. But anyway, I would go there and sell my product because it was all guys and they were all out there walking around, and it would take a day if you were, kind of being careful to check out things to walk through it. I mean, it was that big. It'd take a whole day.
Wow.
And so anyway, I always set up beside this Mexican guy who was selling auto stuff. And we got to be friends. It was just held held every 3 months, 4 times a year.
Mm-hmm.
And we always got to be friends. And so we'd arrange it. So we'd set up beside each other, etc. And I remember one day he was telling me he had, some time in the past, gone to Canada, and the people in Canada kind of helped him so much, arranged some things for him, just kind of took care of him, And so when he was talking to me, he said, he was telling me the story, how I went to Canada and I didn't know where to go. I didn't have much money, and these guys helped me in this way and that. And he said, I want to do something for those. I want to give back to them. I'm so appreciative of what they did to me. And I want to go back to Canada and give back to them something, And I was just thinking, and he was serious. I mean, he wasn't just, nonchalantly saying that. I mean, I could feel he was really inside feeling that was something he really wanted to do, to show his appreciation, to show his thanks.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, if he had that same appreciation for the Lord and all the things that God has given us, et cetera, it would be so perfect, And it's just like that. You can, if you go further and further with that kind of a desire, you can take it home. Take it to the source.
Yeah.
And so, so we want to be thankful for everything, and we want to be thankful for those who are thankful. To find I was really touched by his sincerity.
Yeah.
And we should be thankful for those who are thankful. Mm-hmm. And because that's all a good quality, and it's going to lead to a good place eventually. Somewhere down the road, that's going to have some good fruit. Materially, and then when you're in a certain consciousness, when you hear the true spiritual concepts, it starts to click. It starts to go, because it's your nature coming out, and it just needs to be, redirected to the proper place.
Yeah.
So all these good qualities that a person may have, totally material, honesty, or gentleness and kindness and thankfulness, that's all good qualities. And when you move in that direction, it takes you to a better place and more close to a spiritual acceptance, and then going on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's so wonderful. It doesn't need to start, there. You can start in the small things and wherever you are, and it's cultivating that. That's
exactly. So,
and I think we can.
Sometimes people think that if those people with those certain good qualities aren't, directing them spiritually and so on, it's just, it's, throw them away kind of thing.
It's not.
But no, that quality is a very good quality that can be purified, and it becomes perfectly pure.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So, anyway, we better.
I think we chant. That's a perfect ending. I think.
Be thankful for the opportunity to chant.
Yeah. And we have a friend of ours, that just left this world, so we can probably chant for her as well. Remember her when we chant. In Warsaw.
The one in Warsaw?
Yeah.
I didn't get that information.
Yeah, she just left.
I knew it was
this morning.
Probably imminent and close, but I didn't receive that knowledge. You heard this morning?
Yeah, with 10. So we were chanting a little bit after the morning program here at the retreat.
Oh, great. Yeah, so we will. Her name was Yola, right? But lucky for her, she knew what to do. At the end, she had prepared. She had people around her helping her. So, yeah. That's mercy. That's something to be very thankful for. Haribo Nitai Go. Haribo Nitai Go. Nitai Go. Haribo. Haribo Nitai Go. Nitai Go. Haribo. Haribo Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Haribo, Haribo Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Haribo, Haribo Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Haribo, Haribo Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur,
Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol.
Haribol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Haribol. Haribol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Haribol.
Hare Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol.
Haribol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Haribol. Haribol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Haribol.
Hare Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Hare Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hare Bol.
Haribol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Haribol. Haribol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Haribol.
Hare Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol.
Haribol, Nitai Gaur, Haribol.
Hari Bol.
Oh, very thankful to have friends like Lakshman. We're talking about thankfulness today.
Yes, we should be thankful for all those gifts. Yeah, we're thankful for all of you who are joining the podcast.
Yeah, very thankful.
You know,
Mhm.
really, when we say thank you very much, we are thankful. You know, there are people interested, and you know, if we can in any way help someone move forward in their journey of life, we're so thankful for that.
Thank you for listening.
Thankful for the gift that we've received to pass on. All right, Ruben, Lakshman, thank you guys very much.
Thank you, Balakhilya. Thank you. Wonderful.
And we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
All the best. Namaste, Haribol.
Stay.